Óðsmál is the key to the abyss of spiritual Edda, ancient Norse heritage, myths and poems, profound science of consciousness, allegory, symbolic language, etymon, the true ancient understanding rediscovered. Óðsmál, books and lectures, are all about the profundity of heathenry, the key to understanding the abyss of meaning in our spiritual and cultural heritage. No one knows how old, orally conveyed, we think, for ages, then written as manuscripts. Rediscovery of our priceless spiritual heritage, understand the profundity of every concept in heathenry, what we are not taught anywhere. That is what we are doing here, why we decide to be born. We shall realize what is falsified history, that which was a part of the massive attempt to try to destroy our forni siður in order to replace it with the man-made theocracies. Guðrún Kristín Magnúsdóttir is an artist and author. She has received awards for short stories, a script for theatre, for souvenir design, and the Óðsmál project. The Óðsmál books are delightfully and meaningfully illustrated by Guðrún. Her pictures beautifully and amusingly reveal the knowledge in a picturesque way. Over 100 Óðsmál books have been published in English and the Icelandic. Order them on Amazon. Order on Amazon Óðsmál, Norse Edda Spiritual Highlights. We should know why we choose to be born. Order on Amazon Óðsmál, the Unseen Reality, all about science of consciousness in heathenry. On YouTube, Guðrún Kristín Magnúsdóttir channel, you can listen to the many delightful lectures on heathenry, the abyss of meaning. Understand our reverend forefathers' science of consciousness and apply it to life on earth. From now on, literacy on symbolic language of myths and kvæði, sacred poems. Spot the allegory in God's spells. On Guðrún Kristín Magnúsdóttir's channel on YouTube, you will find over 250 videos, short and long, on pure theosophy in heathenry, paganry, ásatrú, the Viking purely spiritual faith. Spiritual Edda, the Viking faith. Listen to the pure spirituality contained in Norse Edda poems and myths on YouTube. Naive, nurturing knowledge in spiritual Edda, the ancient, profound Viking faith. We should know why we chose to be born. What nobody tells us, our cultural heritage rediscovered. Research since 1990. The first Óðsmál book was published in 1996, only available in libraries now. Freyjukettir, Norræn menning. We have online courses in English and in Icelandic, along with questions and assignment suggestions. Translations are now needed to other languages. Understand heathenry, our culture. We are brainwashed by wrong imprinting and lack of proper education. Óðsmál is the key to understanding. From now on, literacy on symbolic language of myths and kvæði, sacred poems. Spot the allegory in God's spells. Intellectual, theoretical understanding, and also learn to imbibe the knowledge in Glaðheimar. Imbibing Fimbulrúnir in Glaðheimar, expansion of mind to infinity. The ocean of intelligence, Ægir, is the source of thought. Óðsmál is the key to the abyss of spiritual Edda, ancient Norse heritage myths and poems, profound science of consciousness, allegory, symbolic language, etymon. Óðsmál explains what we didn't know about the Norse Edda poems. We gain a new insight into our heritage, new really educational material for all schools. Óðsmál is supported by the Fund for Evolutionary Educational Teaching Material, Ministry of Education in Iceland. World is veröld, a man's lifespan. We make our worlds out of gungnir, and our world is of the same quality as we are. So become pure by learning to nísa niður to the source of thought and forget all your silly ideas. We shall no longer be illiterate on the symbolic language, metaphors and allegory in our priceless spiritual heritage. We begin with the need to gain intellectual, theoretical understanding and then also do research in consciousness, as our forni siður is all about science of consciousness. We have in Óðsmál, vísa 138 and on, nísa niður, transcend, and in skírnismál, vísa 39, loggfara lundur barri, nirvana. Rethink. We might reinforce wrong imprinting because we have been brainwashed for centuries. Now hear survival important things nobody ever told you before. What is siður? We shall learn in Óðsmál the difference between our beautiful theosophy on one hand and on the other hand what the much used theocracies are all about. They are man-made tools to dominate. Understand names and concepts. Heathenry tells us what the purpose of life is. That is what his name implies. But how can a name tell? You will see. Learn what names and concepts convey. Heathenry, derived from Sanskrit siddhartha, means perfection as a goal. Why the name Óðsmál? Óður stands for understanding, comes from Sanskrit apivat. Apivatan in Rigved, to cause, to understand, to awaken. I choose Óður out of the pantheon of gods and goddesses, as he is a kind of lost and no other epics for him. Freyja is looking for him all over, and so will we until he is all ours. We know he is there somewhere. We simply have to find him within. Freyja also has the name menglöð. Men, a jewelry, her brísingamen, that is mankind. Glöð, glad and happy, also means wide and endlessly extended. Óður is also svipdagur. Heathenry is not a belief system at all. We do not believe in gods and goddesses. They are our innermost powers. They preside over the laws of nature. Emerging in Ginnungagapsun billion years ago and will be ours till the end of this our universe Ragnarök, which means origin of Rögn, gods, Æsir. At a Ragnarök, the broken symmetry reunites, merges in its origin, ceases to be the beautiful Schauspiel, a little universe, which always, from the Big Bang until Ragnarök, the big rip or the big crunch, which only is Ginnungagap. The olden guys, our reverend forefathers, knew the vital importance of transcending. Gain fimbulrúnir for powerful divine and positive force and skill in man's worldly actions. Live man's full inherent potential. Gain the true motivation for our actions in the world. This fundamental knowledge is intellectually understood only by a few, and sorry to say it is practiced and lived by even fewer. Our goal and purpose is reaching Valhöll. Valhöll means our heightened state of consciousness. Get enlightened, fully alive in one of our lifespans. This is what lifespans are for. We might not realize that the bedtime stories, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, even the red-hooded girl and her big bad wolf, are conveying the goal to reach Valhöll, enlightenment of a living person. They are myths in disguise. Beautiful bedtime stories when the child's mind is on the verge of leaving the state of wakefulness after a whole day's fun, learning and play. We innocently should heighten our state of consciousness. That we do by regularly transcending nísa niður to the fourth stage of consciousness, which is laying the bridge bifrost. We should take a 180-degree U-turn from the out there to the in here. Heaven is within. Nirvana is found within. Jesus tells us to find heaven within. This is pure theosophy. Intermediaries to divinity should be dismissed altogether. Óðsmál, delightful, enlightening books on Amazon, meaningful, enjoyable lectures on YouTube.